Hey there, Drew Wash here, and this is a pre-recorded message. So as much as I want you to comment in the chat, it'll be a couple days until I see it. Right now, I'm actually on a bus, or at least when the show's going on, I'm on a bus traveling across the Dominican Republic, which is where I am right now. I'm live here, nice, warm Dominican Republic weather, and I still want to come to you live and, well, pre-recorded live and show you some domains. So I will be back next week. That would be March 8th, I believe, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got some exciting stuff to share, just mainly about our newest domain name, which I can, it's out on the Twitterverse. Let me just share it with you, Caymans.com, which, as you can see here, already up live on the domain name. I have our landing page with our opportunity to get some alerts and notifications, which I always highly recommend that you do whenever you get a domain name. Well, that is live. I'll share with you what we're kind of thinking about that domain name next week, so certainly stick with me. And this week, what I want to do is I don't want to go a week without sharing with you some of the domain names that are available this week. So mainly want to go out to our buddies over at expireddomains.net, and we'll just screencast and look through some of the domains and see if we can find some that are interesting for you, that website or that domain out on the launch pad, ready to launch your future with a developed domain name. So let's get started and get into it. The sun's going down. Here we go. So here we are over at expireddomains.net, and as you'll see here, I have the filters set up. The filters that we use, we look for 1 to 3 word English domain names, all .coms, and we're showing 200 results at a time. I believe that's pretty much all of them. All, no numbers, no hyphens. So we have some fun ones that I already have marked, mainly like this one, for example, homecontractors.com. We'll see if this one actually comes up for auction tomorrow, so keep an eye on it. So, or I believe it'll be Tuesday that this one actually comes up. So that will be, yeah, Tuesday it will be coming up live for you. And you see it's over $1,200 right now, estimated value by Google, $9,400. I see homecontractors.com, and isn't this just the most perfect domain name for the business model that we talk about a lot here, which is sharing a domain name with a lot of local companies, local entrepreneurs? Well, homecontractors.com certainly going to get a couple bids from me, and what I want to do with it would be just apply kind of our standard business model. All those home contractors out there, allow them to list on homecontractors.com. They pay a small monthly fee, and we help them show up on the internet and get more exposure and get more business, so they can worry about, fixing and building stuff, and less about their web presence and internet marketing and all that kind of stuff. So that domain name's ending on Tuesday, currently over $1,200, and I will certainly be bidding at least a few more than that. So I expect that one to go for a little bit of money, but a great domain name. And with that said, one of the things that a lot of times people will ask me is, oh, I was going to bid on that, but I saw that you were bidding on it, Drew. I didn't want to bid again. Like, I just will remind you, value a domain name at what you value it at. Don't ever hold off on bidding against me. I love the heart behind that. I appreciate you being my friend and not wanting to spend each other's money or whatnot. But really, for the most part, it's kind of like let's value these things at what they're worth and get them developed. That's the main thing. If you're going to develop it, then bid against me. If you're not going to develop it, then just be polite and let me win it, because that's my goal, is to develop these things, even if they sit on my my back shelf for a while. So homecontractors.com ending on Tuesday. So just scanning down through here, airfare tickets, I'm not a big fan. Carrying company, again, not my cup of tea. Let's see, Commonwealth Trust, Life Pure. You'll see that these are ordered by default. They're ordered by GoDaddy's value. which a lot of times I disagree with their value, but it's a starting place, which is kind of nice. I asked my wife, who's a travel agent, if she wants travelqueen.com, and she said, nope, not interested in that. But this one I did highlight because cruiseexpert.com. So one of the things that we talk about often is how a great premium domain name brings authority. It validates somebody. It allows that, and there can only be one. There can only be one cruiseexpert.com. And so that one's certainly going to get a couple bids from me as well. Currently, and if I'm not mistaken, this one ends really soon. So you'll want to, if you're interested in this one, you'll want to make sure you're ready for it. Bring this up. Okay, nope, I lied. 6 days. So that'll be 5 days that this one will be. So that'll be Friday, it looks like. $116 what it is currently as of Sunday, which is when I'm filming this. And that one's just a fun domain name if you're into travel, which as is out there on Twitter, I bought Caymans.com because yes, travel is one of my favorite niches to play in. And play is the key word. I don't really make much money in that area yet, but I hope to sometime. Let's keep going down the list here. So cruiseexpert.com, that would be an opportunity for somebody to build a blog or maybe have cruise experts pay to have a profile on there. You could possibly do it to where by cruise line or by type of cruise, they can be an expert of honeymoon cruises, which actually I think we just bought that last week or so. But anyhow, okay, so maybe we're the expert. Crack myself up even pre-recorded. But anyhow, great opportunity for cruiseexpert.com if you are into the cruise industry or believe that you can bring in those customers, solve their problem, and help them reach the market. So going down the list, I'm only going to go a couple lists down. This will be a quick show because I want to go to dinner. Okay. And as always, feel free to mention any in the chat that you're seeing. While I may not be live, I'm putting this out live, so it will be live. So the chat, you are all there. So feel free to mention to each other if you see one that I am missing or not showing. Oh, I just realized I should probably zoom in on these two. Apologies for that. I'm used to having all my screens and fancy technology. Bible name, what was that? BibleNames.com. It's kind of fun. I know some people like to mess with religious type domains. I don't so much, but let's see. Feedyourlife.com. Interesting. Highballer.com. How about that one? Who's the high baller out there? Felony lawyers? I don't think that phrase makes sense, but I guess if you're charged with a felony, you might be searching for that. And who knows what kind of background noise you might have. Apologies if it's something fun. Hopefully it's just birds chirping, people having a good time. Hopefully it brightens your spirits, seeing the trees, seeing the environment here. I've certainly been enjoying this last few days that I've been down here. Homelofts.com. That's kind of interesting. I'm surprised it's such a late date. So homelofts.com, I know Lofts is, anyhow, maybe if you're across the pond, that might be one that might be interested to you. Let me click on it and just see what we have on it. $65, so it must have a little bit of interest from a couple people. So that one ends it'll be 5 days, 6 days for you. So we're looking Friday, Saturday is when that's going to be ending. Don't really know what to do with it other than it sounds like a directory of home lofts, lofts that you can rent or purchase for your own. Here we go, beersystems.com. Actually, I guess you could do something with beersystems.com. That idea that, if you want to put a kegerator or something in your house. Okay, let's see. Zoom back in again for you. Head on over to the domains. So for all those the regulars that might be out there, Michael, nice to see you. Even if I can't see you, I know that you're typically out there, which I very much appreciate. Lee, you as well. Matt, hopefully the chat, hopefully the quality's working. Realistically, it's me on my laptop doing a lot at once, so apologies if there's video issues or anything like that. Millennial Entrepreneur sounds like an interesting blog option. Let me see. Bahamas Gold. Is that the way you spell it? Bahamas Gold? Sounds like a brand name, a release lab, brand name. Dog Passion. Startup Drinks. That's one I mentioned last week. That one must be ending probably today or tomorrow. Let's see. Oasis Rehab sounds like a brand. Pioneer Outfitters. That one has some SEO juice. You'll see that right over here. Some links and things coming into it. Dumpster Company. How about that? I don't know what people search for. How many of you search for Dumpster Company? Let's check out what's happening with Dumpster Company. Which Dumpster Company might be. A lot of people don't want to deal with plumbing. They don't want to mess with toilets, which actually it's kind of funny because last week, I think last weekend, part of why I'm on this trip is I had to fix like 3 toilets in the course of like 48 hours. I was like, okay, I'm over this stuff. Anyhow, so nobody wants to deal with toilets. Nobody wants to deal with trash. So dumpstercompany.com, though, I know that there's a lot of independent dumpster companies now, at least in my area. So possibly a play here for helping those independent companies come together, aggregate, and have product differentiate themselves. What makes them different from the competitors? What's available in certain areas? That one ends it'll be 4 days as of Monday. So certainly something you might be interested in. Currently only a $10, $15 bid. That one seems to be worth checking out if you're looking for development, especially if you're just looking for your first development. If you can get it cheap, under a couple $100, those are great domains to buy and just play with. See what happens. Air tourism. Not sure if that's a thing. A lot of these, like air tourism, it's one of those things that sounds great, but realistically doesn't really go together. Last week I talked about that postcard that came to my office, and it talked about like one of the domains on there is like airlinecasinos.com. But there's no such thing. It sounds good, but it's a made up thing. It's fiction. Nobody's going to pay $1 million for that domain, which is what they wanted, I think, for it. Buyer's Friend. That's interesting. Look at that. Look how old it is. That's freaking awesome. So Buyer's Friend, let's see what this one ends, because that one sounds like something real estate. You can do something with real estate. Buyer being a buyer's friend, buyer's advocate, buyer's real estate agent in the States. $12, 4 days, what that one's looking at. Certainly worth checking out if you are into the idea of buyer's friends. The S in this case kind of makes sense. I a lot of times will tell, especially my international people, watch out for the middle S. A lot of times people will register domains with an S. But in this case, while language-wise, it would be buyers with an apostrophe, buyer's friend. It kind of works for this domain name to be buyersfriend.com. Again, probably pretty good for like a blog or possibly representing buyers agents in local areas. Could be a pretty good brand for somebody, especially if you can get it cheap, which it is right now. Ooh, look at this one, hidden. Theater System. Everything seems to be spelled okay. Theatersystem.com. Let's get a little more information on this. That one's looking like it's going to be 4 days for theatersystem.com. Is that a thing still? Is Theater System still a thing? I don't really know if it is. So possibly worth a look. I used to want a great home theater system, but in reality, that's not a thing. I don't really care anymore. But I used to like look up places that could do custom theaters and that kind of stuff. So maybe that could be a domain for anybody with a passion for that. Plan rooms, maybe something for an interior designer, interior decorator, somebody that wants to plan rooms. You have to look up when that one goes. Don't want to, well, I'll go ahead and click on it. Just click over here. We'll check it on in a second. Scale up business. Freshmanguide.com. That one's kind of interesting. Freshman guides from universities across the world. Like, making sure that you come in and know your way around. I like that a little bit. Planroom.com, $12, ends in 4 days. So if you're looking for just brandable for interior designers, something like that, planrooms.com, not my favorite, but if you can get that for cheap, then certainly something you could try to set up and take advantage of a little bit of authority, a little bit of validation that can come from, it seems to carry some of that. Sailing company, don't know. Don't really know much about sailing to know if that's, I don't think anybody would search for sailing company. It'd be like charters or something like that. But certainly, at least it's expiring. You can look that one up. And all of these domains are up on GoDaddy auctions. And we're probably coming to the end of this list. I feel like we've actually gotten some pretty good domains over this short period of time. So hopefully, even though this is pre-recorded, I've managed to bring some value to you to where you can see some domains that maybe you didn't see on your own, see some business ideas that would possibly go for them, and possibly get something that can that you can build out, that you can build, create some revenue for yourself, and live a life of freedom, flexibility, whatever it is that you want for yourself. So how about this, resourcebuilder.com? I think I might have mentioned that one last week. Not a great business type of thing, but kind of interesting. Gamer servers. I'm selling all my game domains right now or looking for partners for them, but game servers would be better. Yeah, gamer servers not going to fall. So, okay, well, we got some interesting domain names that we've pulled out of the hat, and hopefully you found something today, even though this is an unusual show. Hopefully you got something that is of interest and found some domains that maybe you'll be bidding on. So share with others. Hope you've been chatting with others during this broadcast. And I hope to see you next week when I'm, back in Cincinnati. Hopefully it's not like it was last week when it was like sleet hitting the windows, snow on the ground. It was disastrous, which is why I'm here now. Just got out of the pool, out of the sun, got a little sunburn probably. Yeah, I'm always red. Anyhow. Well, until next week, I hope you're doing great. Hope that you found some great domains this week. And I look forward to being back with you live on the 8th. So take care.